And you give it a name. I called it APK Builder. For now, this is a build server that I built. And since it's already configured, actually, you know what? I will show you. Excuse me. I'm gonna say add custom provider. Oops, I'm sorry. I want to say add. Now I gotta delete this one. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm gonna go in here and add. Then to get your API key, you have to be signed in with Nostr. So it uses your Nostr authentication, NIP98 authentication. And you get an API key that's specific to your username, or sorry, your NPub. And you add. And now there it is back up here. Okay. So you just built a pretty little Hello World demo. And you want to deploy it. So you click on the deploy, and you have multiple options. You can deploy it to hello world.shakespeare.wtf, or you can deploy it to APK Builder. I'm going to deploy it to APK Builder. Now this shows here because I had already tested this before. So just ignore that for now. The app name, this is what the application is going to be called on my phone. So maybe I don't want it to be called Hello World Demo. I want it just to have it be Hello World. The package ID, you can just leave that for default. If you have a real domain name, you can put the real domain name. Now this is a little bit confusing, but unfortunately we do need to talk about this. So whenever I launch this, I'm going to have a demo. I'm going to have a tutorial and guide explaining all of this. There's two types of Android apps. There's debug keys, debug apps, which show all the debugging information, all the logs, all the console information. They help you troubleshoot. And then there's the release version, which squashes all the debug logs, gets rid of all the extra console logging, and is signed with a private key that is unique to that application or company or entity, person, so forth. Debug keys are generic and they can be randomly generated. So to do a debug key release, you click on debug and you hit build. But for this demonstration here, I'll just do a release key just to show you. So it says, I have my screen shortened. There we go. You guys can't see that. Can I short? Oh, so there's a button down below. You can see it here. It says deploy, but there you go. Now you can see it maybe. All right, so you click deploy, and it says it's going to require signing. So right now what it's doing is it is deploying my code to the build server. Now the build server is unique because anybody can run it. So you don't have to trust Derek. You don't have to trust Soapbox. You can run your own build server if you want to. I didn't use, some of you that are maybe more advanced have heard of other build methods using like GitHub pipelines and actions and so forth. There's various reasons why I struggled with that and ultimately decided to build my own because it was easier to handle this next phase. So my APK is built right now, but it isn't signed. So review, I chose a release app. I named my app and I hit deploy. A few seconds later, I have the opportunity to upload a key store file. So maybe if I'm already developing Android apps, I already have a key file on my computer, or I can generate a new one. So I'm going to hit generate a new one. And it's going to want me to choose a company name or a name for this, and I'll just choose Derek. I'm not going to give a organization. I don't need it, but I do need to give a minimum password. And sure, I'll just do ASDF1234 just for demonstration purposes. ASDF1234. So that is my key password for my key. Now you can remember this key for future builds, and that private key will be saved in your browser storage. It's not saved on our server. You keep it. We don't have any access to it. So I'm going to hit generate key. Now I have a chance to now download my private key for Android. This is different than your Nostr key. This is specifically for Android, or I can change. So I'm just going to save it as I checked in the last screen. I'm going to hit sign APK. So right now I'm signing the app that I downloaded from the build server. It takes a few seconds to sign. And there we go. And now I click download, and now I have the APK on my computer. And now I can submit it to friends. I can submit it to Zap Store. I can do whatever I want with it. F-Droid, whatever. So that's what I built. It does 100% work. Though Seth had a problem with it earlier, so I got to figure out what he had with. But I've shared this around to a handful of people looking for feedback. I want this to be the easiest user experience possible, where somebody says, "Hey, I built a website, but I want an app too," and I have no clue what the hell that means. So they should be able to go to APK Builder, choose debug, because you should always test first. And then if it works, fine. You don't need to make any changes to your app. You don't need to tell Shakespeare to make any changes. You hit release, you hit deploy, and it starts the build process. Again, it's 2 clicks: APK Builder, release, then deploy. And then from there, you generate a key. And once you generate the key once, you don't have to generate it again if you don't want to. So the goal is to have people be able to build apps for their phones and share them with the audience. There probably will be questions about building for Google Play. I don't have that yet. Google Play takes a slightly different kind of app. Instead of an APK, it's an AAB file. I do have that capability to add that, but I want to keep it simple to not overcomplicate things. So maybe in the future, I'll add another button that says like Google Play release or something like that, so it can download the Google Play variant of it. You see here, since I signed in before, I have the option to sign with my existing key because it's saved in my browser storage, or I can delete it, create a new one, and then you have to type your password in, which is ASDF1234. I think I typed that wrong. ASDF1234, unlock. Cool, it's unlocked and I can sign it again. Okay, any questions? And if you don't have any questions, I have one for you. Do you understand what I did? Could I do something to make this easier for you? Could I make this easier for rolling your face across the keyboard and building an APK? Because I tried to make it stupid simple, but I might be missing something. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, I would love to hear it. I assume everybody loves it and thinks I did a good job then. Okay. Heather, I see you unmuted.
I know. Oh no, I was coughing and turning my mouth off. But no, I have paid attention because I was trying to fix the feed. This was the thing that you wanted me to try because I'm such a normie.
Yes, I want you to try it as my normie friend that has no clue what any of this stuff means, to see if you could build an app. Well, no, I'm serious.
That's
I want you
for.
to be able to build an app.
Derek deals with the smart people.
You won't be able to run it on your iPhone. You can't run it on your iPhone, but you'll be able to send the APK to me.
There you go, and then you can see if my thing works.
Yeah,
you can be the final word there. So does it work? Since I'm Apple everything.
And then after you had your last deployment, I'm gonna make this prettier. This is good. Like, you don't need to see this big, ugly, long-looking thing. If last deployment is available, just say last download or something like that, and you click here and it'll download it. But this is AI. This is AI slop here that I need to fix. It added this, so I'll fix this, and I'll add a button right here that says like Google release or something like that, so you could do the AAB file. So you'll have 3 different kinds. The Google release will also be a release key, but it'll be a different type of file format.
So I can make an Android app. Excuse me. I am probably just as sick as everybody else this week. But I can make an Android app and then like send it to my cousin who's actually an Android person. Just be like, hey, I made you an app. You download it for your phone and I don't know. What is it like? Is it like when I make a PWA app for my iPhone? Is it like that?
Well, PWAs are supported on Android and iOS, but the vast majority of people have been sold on the idea that you need to have an app from an app store. So the first place they go is they go to, Google Play. They go to the Apple App Store and they type in your app name and they look for it there. They don't think of going to your website and installing a PWA, even though you've been able to do this, on Android for, nearly 2 decades and iOS over the past few years. Like, it's just something that people don't understand. So, apps, people want apps. They do. They like native apps, even though this really isn't technically a native app, but people want them.
Carnage
So
has some
it gives you an app.
questions, by the way. If you look in the chat, we have
I don't.
questions from that crazy purple cat.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Does Shakespeare understand native Android UI? So, all right. So to get a little technical, so what this is Shakespeare is an expert at building React applications. There's a React compatible package called Capacitor, and this package essentially builds it's not really a web view, but it's essentially a web view, but there are local assets. So the local assets are generated and accessible. So it's not a true native app. It's not a true web view. It's kind of like a mixture of both, but it isn't native code. It's not native Android code. But Capacitor does understand the native Android UI. So sometimes there are issues. Whenever I was testing this, for example, I noticed that pull to refresh didn't work on my Android app. So what I said to Shakespeare, I said, I'm turning this into an Android app and pull to refresh doesn't work. So it fixed that. And then when I built the Android app, pull to refresh worked. Now, there are some other things that, because of the way that this is working, I guess if people become more advanced and start adding all these extra things to their app, then I'll have to update my build server to look for some of this code that's being injected. Because right now, the way that my build server works is it looks at your standard Shakespeare, React application, assumes it doesn't have any of the Android bits in it, and injects capacitor packages and a couple other tweaks to get things to work. Like it will understand that there's a system bar at the top and it'll move the application down, and that there'll be possibly a system bar at the bottom, so it'll move things up, and it uses the Android API to do that. But yeah, you can do all this. Yeah, exactly. Like for example, so Zaptracks I built and I added Google Cast support. So if you build a music app and then you said, "Hey, I want to add Google Cast," Shakespeare would have to add that. Then you'd have to build the app and then test it. The app doesn't add those certain types of Android features. You have to add those yourself. But yeah, like I want as many apps to be built and tested so we can have use cases, because I've only tested 3 different use cases. I tested a photo and video app, which works. I tested a music app, which works. And then I just, Plectos was just like my third other app. So everything should work. Capacitor has full access to Android hardware controls, essentially making it function like a native app. So yeah, thank you. Like I think we're good. Like there's, like you said, there's some things that probably need to be tweaked, some use cases that I didn't come across. That's why I want people to use this and test it. And then once we're ready, hey Andrew, once we're ready, I will tell Alex we're good to go, and then we'll work on merging the code.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, Derek. you know, mine's still a little wonky, but
well, I want to know what issue you had, because you said that you clicked on get key and you got a key, but then when you go to the deploy, yours doesn't say build server connected.
no, it says build server unavailable, unless, you know, there is always the possibility I'm doing something wrong.
You want to, just out of curiosity, I mean, I don't think I'm blocking VPNs, but are you on like a VPN or Tor or something?
Probably, yeah, I think a VPN.
Well, do me a favor. Go to, just out of curiosity, let's say, go to this webpage, go to apkbuilder.derekross.me and see if you can get to that webpage. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I got it. That's where I got it, or I looked at that at least, and yeah,
Okay.
that's put into the
All right. Well, I'll have you test by turning off your VPN and see if it works. And if it does work, then I'll tell my robot, hey, why doesn't this work on a VPN?
right.
And then we'll see what my robot says.
All right. Well,
but yeah, I've had at least 3 people that aren't me try it and it worked. So now I need to figure out what made your situation unique, why you couldn't get an API, or why it says the build server is not connected for you.
yeah,
we can look at that later. Like, we need to bore everybody with that.
Yeah, sorry. Cool. No, but that's definitely out there, in just different formats, right? That you can just deploy. You can just build stuff and you can just deploy stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know that I made also this past week. I don't know why I did it. I don't have all of them here. I only did this one on this one web on this site. But I made a new website for Amethyst. I made a new website for Nostr, one for NAC, and I made one for Amber. Let's see, I made Amber Citrine. Oops, that's the wrong domain. So I just made these just because what first started out as Viter's Amethyst website was really, 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 really bad. And I wanted to make a better website for Viter, so I did. And then after I did that, I thought, oh, well, there's other Android apps that need better websites. So I made one for Amber and Citrine, since they kind of go together and it's by the same developer. Said Amethyst is, I made Amethyst, obviously. We mentioned that. Then was it NAC dash website? I made NAC for Fiat Jeff. And then, yeah, the Nostr one I showed. So I made these 4 for Android application. Fiat Jeff. Just to do it, to kind of make Dad happy or mad. I don't know which. I don't know if he'd be mad if he saw it. He saw it. He read it.
Does that say Fiat Jeff? Wait, scroll down.
Fiat Jeff. Okay. Jeff, Jeff. So I made these sites, and my prompt for these is really, really, really simple. Let's see, Shake Droid. Isn't Shake Droid? No. Oh. Isn't that my? Oh, maybe I have it. I thought it was Shake Droid. There we go. Shake Droid, yeah, and then the Nostr website. Like that's right. Shakespeare was being interesting yesterday, and none of my images actually worked. I have no clue. I've never seen this before. Like on the main well, Alex was also breaking Shakespeare yesterday, so I decided to use my own implementation of Shakespeare.
Is that your remixed Shakespeare? You mean?
Yeah, this is my like Android test, my Shake Droid test. So I used this to work on the site because Shakespeare.diy was fucked yesterday because I think Alex was. Well, I know Alex was working on things. So, but what it did, it was really weird. All of my images, none of them worked. like, when I scrolled down here, like all these images were all black. None of them worked. And I kept trying to tell Shakespeare to fix it. And it eventually did, but I've never seen that before. Well, it was really weird. It had some like overlay over top of all the images.
Hmm.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's it. 4 marketing websites for apps, and then ShakeDroid coming to a Shakespeare hopefully near you.
I like the design. I always like the ombre styling on the buttons and on the text. It's
Ixnay on
no,
the
I
ombre.
like it. It's a nice touch because I mean you don't overdo it, obviously, but I think it looks nice. I think it looks modern. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Hey, there's your buddy.
Is he bitching about my wallet?
No, I don't know that was. Anyways. So before I pass the baton, any questions about what I did to build any of these marketing websites for Nostr apps? My prompt was very, very, very simple. It was, I guess I could show you on the real Shakespeare. I probably have my prompt here. There we go. I said following. Yeah, this is a cool trick. I want everybody to be aware of. I said following the Nostr website, the Amethyst social, and Amber citrine. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling Shakespeare, hey, look at these projects. Nostr website, Amethyst citrine social, right? I want to make the next Nostr and marketing information site for the application called NAC. NAC is the Nostr Army knife. Yada yada yada. You guys can you can see all that. I said this should be a Nostr marketing site. It should be for command line gurus and command line hackers. This website should be different than the others because my others were targeted towards users, and I wanted this to be targeted towards people that love Linux and love the terminal. And then I gave Fiat Jeff's NPub. And I did say there is no NAC NPub for updates because if I look at, let's just look at Citrine here, for example, I say the public key for the developers here. Here we go. The Citrine public key, and I list the Citrine public key because here's the Amber public key. Now, if you look at this prompt here, I literally did these in my bed, by the way. These were done in my bed late at night when I should have been sleeping. So that's why the prompts are ugly. But this ugly prompt worked. And look what I said, following the success of the Amethyst social, because Amethyst worked. So I wanted this to essentially be take the Amethyst code, but change it around for the few variables that I updated, saying citrine and Amethyst, or what's the other one? Amber. So here, now I cleared the prompt here, but my prompt here, I said 2 of my favorite features about Amethyst is 1, it supports Tor, built-in, giving users the utmost user privacy-focused experience across Nostr, making it the #1 privacy-focused Nostr experience. And 2, it has the most configurable relay, blah, blah, blah. So I said Tor and relays are the best. So what did it do? It came down here and it said industry-leading privacy and control, built-in Tor. And it built me this cool little Tor thing and said relays are awesome. And then it built me this relay awesome thing. So I liked this design. So when I built the Amber one, that's why I said, look at the Amethyst social. So it had built the same site. And then these 2 were good. So Nostr, I told it to do the same thing, but said, this is when Shakespeare is broken, so you can't see my original prompt. And then NAC, again, I said, look at all these that are cool. Here's the name of them all, reference them and use them. So you can do that. That's my whole point, is that if you build something, or let's say Carnage builds something and you really like what he built a cool feature that you want in your app, but you don't know how he built it. You can literally clone, right? You go to import repository and you follow Carnage because you like Carnage. And you go here and you Can I search by his name? I can't search by his name. Right. X21. I know that's his project. HoloCat. Oh, that's right. He's not Carnage anymore. He's HoloCat. He's Holo. There we go. All right. So you really like NRSS, let's say. So you can clone NRSS. I don't even know what that app is, but I assume it's Nostr RSS. So you clone it, right? I'll just hit clone just for proof of concept here. Yeah, it does sound like a blog post to tell people that you can do this. So you clone, and after it's done cloning, because I don't care about his project, but let's just say it's using RSS on Nostr for argument's sake here. So now when I go to make a new project, I say, I want to implement the features of NRSS project and look in that project directory to learn how to implement it into my app. That's literally all I would say. And I would hit go, and it would look at NRSS, figure out what feature I want. Maybe I should be more specific because I don't really know what his app does, but I want to implement the RSS feature of this app, something like that. That's all you need to do. Anytime you see somebody's feature in Shakespeare and one of their apps that they build and you like it, you can 100% import it into your app just by cloning it and then referencing that project directory name. Just the name. That's all you need. And Shakespeare will look at that project, examine it, and copy it and implement it. Really cool hack. There's no RSS in there, but it's just a long form app. Oh, Derek, do you read the chat today? I'm trying to, man. Can you scroll up the first chat message the whole way to the top? Here I am again. You have already witnessed my raw clients. Raw, yes. Then I made, yes, you made the library, and I didn't look at the NIP you gave me yet to look at for this. But yes, we can do this. Watch this. We're going to do this. We're going to go and we're going to say, share this tab instead. All right. So this is St. Louis's app. He made a curated Shakespeare links. So what does it do? Browsing the Shakespeare URL registry for this kind, a decentralized catalog of all published links. Cool. So he makes a lot of apps. Look at all of his apps. This is just your apps. Why don't I see mine in here? Why don't I see mine? Submit your app. What if I log in?
Oh, that's a good question. Could you log into Shakespeare with your
I don't know.
NPub or your signing extension or whatever?
I'm logged in, but I don't know. I don't know. Browsing the URL registry. Yeah, but where's
Hard
Derek's
refresh.
in here? We need some more development on this. It looks like.
I like the idea.
Or is it because you have to submit your app, so it's not actually right? You have to go in here and
you better
submit
get
your
cracking,
app.
Derek.
So I would go in here and say knack-website. But here's the thing. We already have this, right? Like
he says in the chat, the scraping attempt didn't work well, so anyone can submit the app instead. Derek's got a lot of apps, so you better get cracking and submit some. I think that's a good question, though, of like, would people want their apps to automatically populate into a site like that, or would that make them mad? I don't know.
Well, I need to work on this because this I said is missing so many of our apps. They're on the Ditto relay. Yeah. But this is anyways. So we already have this, like the app registry. Now this is all of Nostr. It's not just Shakespeare though. But if people used a hashtag, right? Like you could type in Shakespeare and it would find it there. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's something to talk about, something to work on, figure out how we want to do it. But yeah, NostrHub is something I need to fix.
Patrick
I have a
says you
note
could
'cause
import
it's-
NostrHub into Shakespeare and add the feature to STL's St. Louis project.
I could. I can clone NostrHub in Shakespeare.
Do it live.
And then, yeah.
Oh, Carnage has after hours.
Oh yeah, Carnage. The after hours is Carnage's fork. So what does your fork do? This is just showing all of NGit. All of NGit. Okay. All right. So these are just Git repos, right? Yeah. Very cool. Cool. All right, I've done enough talking. I've been talking for 40 minutes. Somebody please take the baton from me. Patrick, you have been antsy. I know you have something you want to share. I'm volunteering you to go next.
All right.
Also, I want to see it too.
Yeah, Patrick's been building.
Been working on the Nostr.blue site. Trying to remember the last time I showed it off what features were actually on it because I've added a lot. I know that there's articles already. There's music support. One of the new features of music is it now has both RSS feed music as well as Nostr music as well as Wavelake, which is still under the RSS feeds. We added podcast support, so now we use the podcast index API to pull in all the different podcasts, just like you'd find on any other podcasting app. You can also save these, so I forget the event kind or anything. Not gonna lie, I'm really tired, so if I just kind of ramble on, feel free to stop me and ask any questions because I'm kind of rambling tonight. But one of the things I've done, you can go to the different podcasts, you can subscribe to it, and once you subscribe, it actually stores it to your library on Nostr, and that way you can see all your different podcasts that you'd subscribe to. And then the recent tab would just take those same podcasts and generate a list of the new episodes in it. This also works the same way as the music. As you listen, it will broadcast the NIP65 of the podcast you listen to, just to make it easy to kind of do discovery in the future.
Nice.
Photos and videos were already there. So I'm moving NostrCal from its own thing into Nostr Blue. So now all the Nostr events will populate here, including like meetings and calendar events, whatnot.
Nice.
It'll bring in all the maps to do it. For some reason,
I was wondering what
delayed.
happened to NostrCal.
Yeah, I ended up having some problems with Hetzner or whatever it is, and they banned my account, so I've lost a lot of my hosting
Who did?
project.
What?
Yeah, Hetzner, one of the VPS providers. I lost my account with them, so and I've been lazy to over the holidays to get it back up to.
Oh wow!
Hosting.
Why do you think they banned you? I'm just being curious.
They said it was a lack of payment, but I had made a payment 7 days prior, and so I'm like, I didn't have any history. I didn't have any withstanding like balance or anything, so I'm not really buying that one. They won't communicate with me anymore, so I was just like, okay, well.
They just stopped talking to you?
Yeah, their support
Oh my God.
just stopped the ticket, and I was like, well, okay, that's I guess you didn't want me here. Added in list support, so now you can manage your list, create lists just like you would on Amis. But the fun part about it is then they become lists that you can then view those members directly, so you only see them inside of your feed. So there's so many new features to it. I actually had to make a new sidebar set up for it, so now you can actually edit your sidebar up.
Oh,
and
that's nice. So you can customize that. Very cool.
Yeah, so if you want it like peer-to-peer trading up here, you can
Yeah.
drop it up, and then, or if you want to add, let's see, there's my NostrHub.
Man, Patrick making like one of the best damn Nostr web apps out there. Holy shit.
All those will, as you edit the sidebar, it will also like store it as a NIP78, so it stays to your profile, so you don't have to worry about like coming back and it being different. Added in support for NIP, whatever the marketplace NIP is. I think it's 99 if I'm not mistaken. So you can view them. I haven't actually went through and tested this to go through a full like purchase process to make it sure it all works yet, but it's kind of early support built in. Recipes. So since we got Seth in here, I pretty much took a fork of Seth's project for that to mainly build out one feature that I've been working on, which is pin boards. So all these just follow the same thing. These pizza beans just tickled me. You can still see just kind of like the same there, but what you can do now is you can add it to a cookbook.
So is this just like a NIP 51 list of all your recipes, basically?
It's kind of like NIP 51. I'm doing it as an alternative list type that will accept any event type, because most of the lists seem very specialized to where you have one for photos, videos, articles. So I'm just doing one that's kind of geared towards everything and using that for what I'm calling pin boards. And pin boards are just kind of like your Pinterest style thing.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking cool, man.
You can jump into them as you add them to it. It adds to the Pinterest list, and then you can jump in and find whatever recipe you want to jump in to look at.
Cool. That's amazing.
Added wiki support. So this follows the NKB IP stuff to where you can view any of the Nostr wiki articles that's been promoted. So if you want to learn about Venezuela, you can open it up, read through whatever there.
This seems really performant too.
After it gets started, it's kind of slow, and it's way better than it was the first time I showed this off. But
so is it caching and then reading from like the local Nostr DB?
It does do index DB as the local cache, but it's actually pretty good once it gets going just from pulling from the relays. But it does take a second, like when you first load into the site.
Yeah,
you'll kind of be like, this thing's garbage, and then it gets pretty performant. I can't remember who made the internet radio stuff for Nostr, but I integrated that as well, so you can listen to internet radio stations that's been published to Nostr.
That's cool.
Just by hitting play, and it will build right into the.
Running a small business is hard enough.
The integrated player, same as like podcasts and music, also have the same player. So as you go through, you can still listen to.
Damn, you spent a lot of time on this. This is cool.
Yeah, this is very nice.
Isn't this wild?
Yeah. This is the everything app.
That's what I was shooting for. Is like literally just I'm going to try to cover every NIP that I can.
I didn't even know.
Do you have Nest support or what, man?
No Nest support yet. I'm going to do it as NIP 100. Is my plan is to integrate it to straight NIP.
You're not going to do it because it's not NIP 100. That's hilarious. It's literally been 3 years, probably for like the week. Like
I'm so hung up on it. My favorite thing I sell Bitcoin to my local meetup, but I always just do it at spot price. But it's always annoyed me because like spot price isn't true Bitcoin price. Like that's just paper Bitcoin's price. The real price is what a peer-to-peer market has it at. And so this peer-to-peer market trading looks at all of the published Nostr orders that are NIP 69.
Now that's from what? Nostr,
Robostats.
Robostats. Yeah, I forgot Robostats. Robostats does coordination now.
Yeah. And so it uses the CoinGecko API, but then it takes the average premium order for that and then gets its own Bitcoin price based on what the peer-to-peer order book is. So that's, to all my Bitcoin meetup members, that's the new price they get to buy Bitcoin from me at. What else is there? Oh, NIPS. NIPS is kind of my NostrHub because I never can remember the NostrHub name. So I just said finally one day I built this in just because I couldn't remember NostrHub and got frustrated and said I'm just going to put it in the project so when I need to find a custom NIP, I can
solving your own problems.
So you can go through and search for.
Dude, this is great, man. I haven't looked at Nostr Blue since you first showed it off a long time ago.
Publications is one that I'm really excited on working into. So you can pull in all the different publications that these are NKB IP3 maybe. not as familiar with their whole knowledge base stuff, but it will pull in. There's different books, and of course the Bible's on here. So one thing I'm really trying to build that isn't into the site is an actual Bible reader to be kind of like Bible.com, to where you can have published Bible plans, have highlighter support, things like that.
And you have, I just noticed that you have a GIF button.
Oh, yes, a gift button.
Oh, yeah, Patrick, this is great.
You can, it will search by NIP50 to find any of the published gifts that are like Gift Buddy or whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. You were saying that it does the NIP50 search.
And so if you can't find one, maybe you want South Park, you can search, and it'll give them whatever it finds that way. But you can also then upload GIFs, so that way if you have a GIF that isn't inside the directory already, you can upload it, put it on Nostr build or your Blossom server or whatever, and give it some tags. That way other people can find it and build up the directory that way.
Dude, I just want to like, I don't know. I want to help you work on this. I'm blown away.
We've got poll support, so you can add end polls directly into your KIM1 messages, but then it's also got its own poll like section that you can go view all the different polls and whatnot.
I want polls. That'd be fun.
The music, it's Nostr music as well as Podcast 2.0, is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
The leaderboard only does podcast or only does Wavelake and Nostr, and it will, I think I'm not finding any Nostr tracks. There was one that was really high that was up the list, but usually like there's one or two Nostr tracks that are making in here, but usually it's all Wavelake.
I'm just blown away by literally like you like literally went down like through the NIP list and like okay, implementing this one.
That's exactly what I've been doing.
Implement this one next. Like, I mean, we often like shit on the Everything app, but that's because they
nobody's made one that anybody would want yet. You know, except for like this is literally everything now.
Yeah, I like it. Now I want to fork it and make everything purple and then use my purple.
And he'll make his end in STR.
No, because that's what Patrick and I do. We like take each other's ideas.
It does NIP 78 custom reactions, so you can change your reactions and edit those around if you want to.
Everything's customized. Oh my god, this is so good.
It is. This is really good, Patrick. Really good.
I'm slipping on something. I know there's something else I was wanting to show with it, but I can't remember. Citations are all from. Yeah, I think that's more or less it. I'm trying to get the calendar. This is my biggest disappointment of it, is for building NostrCal and then coming here how bad the version of the calendar on this is, but it will get there.
No doubt.
Breaking news, Heather.
You're breaking news?
Yeah. So when you go to podcasts, he has Nostr Native Podcasts, which is our Podster. But I didn't know that there's, if you don't count my 2 like podcast tests, I guess, there's 5 other podcasts that are on here that are using
really.
Podster. I didn't
know
that.
Which ones? Shout them out.
Yeah. The Parody Day, Autonomous Airwaves, Iggy Golo, though I assume Iggy, because Iggy forked Podster into Musicster, so I assume that's from that. And then I don't know how to try to pronounce that one. I don't know how to say that.
That's cool.
But yeah,
means people are
really cool.
It.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Patrick,
yeah,
this is great, man. I really want to play around with this and just use all of the different features and just test them all out, because this is really cool.
Yeah, tell me all the bugs. I've done 3 more releases since last week when I was wanting to show it off or whatever. So there's been tons of bugs.
If you want
finding, and
someone who can find bugs, that's me.
Tag me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heather is your human for that.
And I'm so bad about it because I'm just so used to playing on buggy sites that I don't even think about like, oh, I just got to refresh again, and so it doesn't even think of
That's
like a
why we
normal
have
user
me.
that
I'm the
I don't
Yeah.
normie
know what to do
user.
here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm so used to that as well. Patrick, are you pulling from the Divine Relay for the videos for the?
I'm not yet, but I do want to get that added in.
Yeah, because the default for them will be only posting on relay.divine.video. Users can go in and change their relays, but the majority of people won't do that. They won't understand it.
One thing,
So
does anybody
cool.
here use CodeRabbit for their projects?
No, never heard of it.
As far as let me pull this back up. As far as like doing bug edits, this is one of my favorite tools to figure out when there's things that the AI didn't find. You submit your normal PR, CodeRabbit will then review it and read through the whole project, but then we'll give you tons of these different suggestions that you can read through. Then you can literally just pass the same prompt back to the AI to try to fix bugs that it finds. So it's a free thing. They have a paid tier, but if you're doing an open source project, they provide it for free. So you can just sign up for it at coderabbit.com or .io. I forget. Coderabbit.ai. If you're doing an open source project, they'll let you do it for free, and they'll give you these. I think it's $30 for their paid plan, and then you can get like a bigger allowance of how many files
That's
it'll
cool.
search and different things. But if you're trying to debug, this is like a huge help for me.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I like that. I'll have to check it out.
But yeah, that's where Nostr Blue's at these days.
That's awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Like I said, you heard me the whole entire time saying, "Wow, wow, wow!" I'm really impressed. This is great. So thank you for building it. Thank you for demoing it. I look forward to actually using it more on desktop. My number one used app is NoteDeck, but sometimes for browsing the other stuff, I use a multitude of different apps. Maybe this will become one of those other apps, and maybe I'll use it even more. Cool. All right. Any questions for Patrick? Feel free to ask.
Oh, I see. Can you bet sats on poll outcomes? You cannot at this moment, but that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
I do want to build a full peer-to-peer market into the peer-to-peer trading. I'm going to try to integrate Nostr or whatever it is to be like a local Bitcoin style site for this.
Yeah, like he already has the whole thing. You could like he already has the whole platform. You could implement it.
All right. And just
Cool.
do simple HODL invoices to let people do peer-to-peer trades.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, Seth, you've been waiting. You've been building. Would you like to go next, sir?
Yeah, he was talking about you earlier, Seth.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the middle of testing to make sure I've got. I think I was mentioning to you earlier, Derek, that the signer issue, I was having just some small issues. But per your recommendation, I implemented the Nostr book. Was it nostrbook.dev MCP, and one shot took care of all my problems. So pretty happy about that. So but yeah, it was cool. You see NIP 46 really taken off out there with Primal's integration, which is pretty nice. They did a job well done on both iOS and Android. So yeah, that was cool. And yeah, I'm happy to be in the NIP 46 club, but it was a little finicky to get there. But
Yeah. So for those of you that weren't here earlier, like the when I was talking about this, the issue that like Seth was having, he had some NIP 46, NIP 55 type signer issues. Was trying to get it to work, and he was trying to get it to work, and I think Cursor or Claude Code or both, and was running into some headaches. And he was going to talk about. He asked me about using Shakespeare to fix this and what my recommendations were, and I said, sure, Shakespeare could fix this, but I don't know if your app is Shakespeare compatible. So you might have to work, to make your app work in Shakespeare, and that's a headache itself. Or it might just work, out of the box. Who knows? So I said, as a workaround to this, just use the Soapbox Nostr book MCP server. It's literally what it's there for, and people use it all the time, such as the Divine developers that are building the Divine Flutter app. They use the Nostr book MCP server. It's not just for Shakespeare. Like, it's anybody that wants to build Nostr. It just teaches your robot how Nostr works, like the ins and outs of the protocol, the NIPs, things like that. So he did. He added it and he one-shot it. He said the protocol specs allowed him to do it. So I'm excited to see more building, and I'm excited to see Seth watch his dreams of building his app that he's been talking about for years. Like, he's doing it himself now, vibe coding. I love it, and he might be using my tool for apps, maybe, if I can.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the legend Carnage there. Worked with him a good bit on Zap cooking on the design side, pre-vibe code days, and good time. So he's a part of that journey as well. So
absolutely, we're all rising together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's addictive though. I mean, literally, these past 2 weeks I've basically been off, Christmas break and not doing a lot of like fiat work type stuff, and I've just been like putting in shifts after day after day, just putting it in and just hammering away. And it's like you find a problem, you're like, ooh, let me start peeling that thread, and you're just gone. It's good times.
Good times. Well, cool, Seth. Thank you for sharing. STL, I shared some of your apps earlier. You can, when we talked about NostrHub and your Shakespeare library. What else did you share earlier? You shared your raw Nostr. I don't remember what the raw Nostr is. What is? Your raw Nostr app. It's a global feed of raw Nostr events. That's how he snipes whenever I'm working on something. He finds it out. I'm wondering why it's coming back. No raw events. Do I have to be logged in? Do you want to talk, STL, or I can?
Derek can present.
Try to. I can present. All right, you have to log in. All right, so let's share the screen. I'll talk for you. How about that? Window.
To the wall.
Chrome tab. Where's it at? Ooh, I have too many tabs open. Once I find the tab, I will share this.
Wow. How many tabs are open on Derek's computer? The person with the correct guess.
I literally can't find it. I'm trying to find the. Oh man. Raw Nostr events. There we go. Boom. All right. So we're sharing. Okay. All right. So you log in, and it just shows. It's not a kind one feed. It's not a kind an image feed. It's not a video feed. It's literally just JSON messages coming in as they come in, and you don't know what it is. Like this one, oh man, it just broke itself. Let's reload. We'll choose another relay. It was working. I saw events. I don't see events now. Oh, there we go. All right, it just takes a little bit of time. All right, so we have this event here from this user. Where's the tag? Is it 1059? Oh, that's this is a DM. It's an encrypted DM. Lots of DMs happening. Can we filter by event type or like kind? Can you do that? Filter. Perfect. All right, what do I want? Long form, relay list, zaps, who's zapping, text notes, contacts. Sure. So let's just say text or contacts. So who's updating their contacts? Well, their contacts. Well, this person is.
Your Jaguar.
Whoever that is. Strange love of music. This person just updated
That's a trip.
their contact list. So, anyways, this just crawls public Nostr data and allows you to easily dive into it to see what it is. So it's all public data. It's cool. Yeah, so like if I wanted to look at, if I knew a kind number off the top of my head, like 30312, and I hit add, and there we go. Here we are, everybody. Here we are. That's me, Brighthawk, or Bravehawk. Yeah, but this is our vibe coding jam session. That's the event kind. Cool. All right, so this is just a fire hose of data for the data nerds that want to look for things that there generally aren't feeds of, right? Like there's not a feed of people publishing, I don't know, something, and you can find it through this app. Very cool. It shows every event, regardless of kind, and you can create new raw kinds yourself. All right, let's take a look at that. Create event. And yeah, you could publish it, advanced. You can add the tags, values, and yeah, yourself. Yeah, NostrCal has an event publisher like this. I've used it before. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. These are useful tools in the toolkit for people that, every once in a while need to geek out and get a little technical. So I like it. I'm a fan. I could see myself using this. I can share an app I made. Absolutely, Carnage. I think I'm done sharing St. Louis apps. I've already shared the two he talked about. So you are up, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see it.
Working out?
Hello, sir.
You hear me?
We got you.
Okay. Let me share a screen here. Oh wait, I gotta give it permissions here. Just a second. Allow. Okay, let's see. Which one do I want to share? Okay.
Yeah.
You should be able to see this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, your Reddit prospect. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys have already seen
It's
this,
cool.
but I thought other people might like to see it. So this is not a Nostr app, but it was made with my clone of Shakespeare. So what this does is it basically allows you to create a profile for your app. Let's say you're making some app and you want to find a way to get some audience for your app or customers even. You create a profile. You add your app name, category, describe it, what it does, and what kind of target audience you're looking for. And maybe add some key features of like what the app is capable of doing, and then just create your profile. I already created a profile for after hours here as a kind of test. So after profile is created, you can configure an API key. So far I've implemented Open Router, but maybe down the road there could be others. You can select the model. I just use Grok 4 Fast because it's fast. And you just basically click run the report. And what that does is it will look at Reddit subreddits to look for matching posts and matching kind of themes for your app, basically. So let's take a look at one of the reports here. I think maybe this is a real one here. Yeah, so here my app is After Hours, which is a clone of Shakespeare, which is in kind of AI vibe coding app, right? It looks for all the places where people have looked for this kind of product or talk about it. So indie hackers, SaaS, no code, startups, side projects, entrepreneur, web dev. So basically find all the relevant subreddits for your product. It also gives you the guidelines of how to promote yourself in those subreddits so you don't make a mistake. Like you don't say or do something you're not supposed to, which is like what most people do, right?
Yeah,
They'll start
that would
sharing
happen to
and
me.
they get instantly banned. I also
I shared Shakespeare to the open source subreddit using your tool, you jerk, and you got me banned.
I mean, that's why I hate Reddit, though.
You have to be careful.
Reddit is so stern about rules. Yeah,
I know. Fuck Reddit.
They're mean.
Yeah, you have to kind of follow the strategies as well, I think. But also the second tab I'll give you here is live posts. Now these are kind of old. I finally got it to use search. I use the search function of Grok for fast. So you'll actually do like a search and look for a post. But a lot of them kind of old, like 10 days. You see some 20-day posts, which is not really ideal. You want something super fresh, right? So I think that could be improved down the road. Maybe like scrape all the popular subreddits or something. Keep like a database. This is if you want to make a business and you run provide this as a service to people. But yeah, you can take a look at these posts, see what they say. So here, for example, looking for a good AI app builder. Oh, what do you know? I have a good AI app builder, right? So you go there, you try to engage with that post. Maybe just say like, here, I've tried these, and here's kind of the one I made that works for me. You can basically talk about your experience, and that might get you a click on your website or your tool, maybe even a paying customer, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing is like the strategies tab. This basically tells you like the types of things that you can do in these subreddits. For example, how to post or tutorial. AMA is probably not something you do unless you already made something. Or like AMA, maybe I've already tried all the tools and here's what I've learned. Ask me anything, right? Showcase or study. Organic engagement basically just means participate in the subreddit, which is kind of probably the least, most effort, most obvious. Give away feedbacks, blah, blah, blah. Well, you get the idea, but you get different strategies that you can try in those subreddits. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because it's not a Nostr app. It's a kind of a halfway to an actual business that you can build. The one thing I'll probably want to add here is like sign up flow and maybe even payments. And I actually added Stripe integration into After Hours just so I could say add Stripe payments as a prompt. And it'll just add Stripe payments for, let's say, let my users run the query for, I don't know, 5 or like one free report or 2 free reports. Anything after that, make them pay. And here's a Stripe landing page. You have to type in your credit card, basically. So yeah, I added that into After Hours. I don't know if I could show it to you. I don't know.
Can see your Reddit prospector.
Yeah.
Oh, Reddit prospector. I probably have to share it. I don't know how to switch the tabs. I haven't used this. Okay, whatever. Yeah, but basically I added a setting in After Hours called Stripe payments, and that will allow you to kind of configure your payments. And I also added a skill, like there's a skills tab. I don't know if Shakespeare has skills. I think it does, right?
Yeah, it does.
But I added a Stripe payments skill, so we'll automatically know how to set up Stripe payments. Hopefully, I haven't actually tested. There's something to test down the road, so that'd be interesting. So yeah,
I would really think that you could make money on that. There are people who, if they love Reddit and that's their chosen marketing strategy, they'd pay for that.
Yeah, I think you could probably. I think what I wanted to demonstrate is that it's possible to build a business if you kind of get creative. And yeah,
Hell
you
yeah.
could probably use Shakespeare.
Can I ask why you and Derek both use your Shakespeare clones to make things specifically? Do you have a specific reason why?
Yeah, I have a very specific reason. I don't like the Clippy thing. It keeps popping up all the time, and I can't stand it. So I made the clone specifically only just to remove the Clippy guy. But yeah, I added some other features. Like I wanted to remind me to start a new chat, and Shakespeare didn't do that. Like you have to click start a new chat from top, and I wanted a reminder like to just say every time I'm done with a task, put a button that says start new chat, and that way I don't kind of run up the cost, because cost was one of the things that was preventing me from using Shakespeare a lot.
That's a good
so yeah,
suggestion.
those two features. But then I started kind of adding more and more, kind of wasting time with it. Yeah.
No, that's a good suggestion. I think that's something that we could do, because I think we kind of have that. I mean, it's not hidden, but it's also not front and center either.
And maybe just have like a setting that says disable Clippy.
Yeah, well, I think that's good too, because Clippy used to think about how much we literally are memeing Clippy today, because 30 years ago we literally fucking hated him. So we don't want to entirely.
Well, 30 years
bring
ago, we
that
also had
back.
screensavers with flying toasters. Okay, we've come a long way.
Yeah, but I think disabling Clippy is a nice user preference
Clippy,
too.
Quilly,
I like
whatever
that.
we call him.
Quilly.
Quilly, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Quilly. No, these are good.
And Derek, why did you clone Shakespeare for your specific use? Oh, I thought you did.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I did, but I okay. So I cloned it to deploy, so I could show my PR to my trusted testers and friends and have them test it. That's all. Yeah, like I built it, and then when Alex beat me up over the weekend about all the things he didn't like about it, I said, "Well, I don't believe you, sir. I'm gonna get people to trusted testers to use it and see if they think it's too complicated." And I needed a URL to be able to deploy for them to test. So I just my PR, my branch, I just cloned my branch and into Shakespeare and deployed it from Shakespeare. And yeah, that's it. Yep.